So in beginning of this episode, we see where Yefei had come running back to his sect, so that he can meet his master. Then suddenly, the master of Suncloud sect also comes there, whose name was Zhao Wutai. Seeing this, Yefei immediately runs towards his master and tells him how a man attacked me. At the same time, that man also destroyed my evil skull. Hearing all this, Zhao Wutai puts his disciple's evil skull back in his body. At the same time, Master Wutai tells Yefei to calm down. Tell me everything in detail. What happened there? Hearing this, Yefei tells Master Wutai how I was keeping an eye on the prince's mansion. Then suddenly one of those traders started running away from there, whom I was following to enjoy. That trader ran away and went to a normal person's house. At first, I thought he was a normal mortal, but he turned out to be a powerful cultivator who attacked me and destroyed my evil skull. Saying this, Yefei gets emotional and says, Master, if I hadn't saved my life from there and come here, then maybe you wouldn't have been able to see me again. Hearing all this from Yefei, Master Wutai asks him, was there really no spiritual energy in that man's body? To which Yefei replies, yes. Otherwise, why would I consider him mortal? Here Master Wutai had something going on in his mind, so he tells Yefei to take me to him. Hearing this, Yefei had taken out his flying sword, but on the other hand, Master Wutai tells him, no, we will walk. Anyway, it's been a long time since I talked with you. After saying this, he took Yefei on foot and left for Wang Ling's house. Here, after Master Wutai and Yefei leaving from there, we see that all the other disciples were talking about how Master Wutai loves Yefei like his own son. They have never refused to help Yefei. It seems that someone else must have troubled Yefei today, who is not well today. After this, the scene shifts and comes to the city on the other side, where we see that Master Wutai and Yefei were going towards Wang Ling's house. Yefei was thinking about Wang Ling in his mind that now you will not survive. Then suddenly, on the other side, Master Wutai saw a candy shop there, from where he buys a candy monkey. This candy monkey tells Yefei that, remember when you met me for the first time? Then I saw that you were fighting some children for this candy monkey. Maybe you have forgotten all that. Hearing this, Yefei gets emotional and replies, how can I forget that? At that time my life was very bad. If you hadn't adopted me, maybe I wouldn't have been alive by now. After knowing all this, we realize that Master Wutai really loved Yefei a lot, and he adopted Yefei. On the other side, the scene shifts and comes to Wang Ling's house, where we see that Zutao has now come to his senses, and Wang Ling asks him, tell me what is the problem? Where Zutao had started telling everything to Wang Ling. He tells how some temples had created an alliance together. According to the rules of this alliance, if anyone gets a treasure, then he will have to tell it to the rest of the sect. But a few days ago, the Crown Prince got a furnace treasure, which was a little expensive. That's why the Crown Prince was greedy and hid that treasure, about which Suncloud's sect leader, Master Wutao, had learned. That's why he got angry at the Crown Prince, and no one can stand in front of his anger. Even if the Crown Prince wants, he is trying to return the Caledron, but Master Wutao is not agreeing to this. He has forcibly imprisoned the Crown Prince in his house, and told him that if he comes out, he will be killed, while everyone else refused to help the Crown Prince. I also came out of there with great difficulty, so that I can ask you for help. After hearing all this, Wang Ling understands that the Crown Prince had shown greed, because of which Wutao wants to punish him. That is, if you look at it, they are not doing anything wrong. That's why he has refused to help the Crown Prince. Meanwhile, Wang Ling tells him that now you should also stop supporting the Crown Prince. He's being punished for his deeds. After hearing all this, Zutao understood that he would not get help from here. That's why he was about to leave Wang Ling and get out of there. But suddenly, Wang Ling, stopping his brother, says that we have some guests. You come back. Because Wang Ling had felt the energy of Zhao Wutao. Then suddenly we see that Yefei immediately opens the door and says that Master this. The man, Zhao Wutao, was also able to see that Wang Ling is sitting in front of him, while at the same time he looks at his wood carving statues, from which a little dangerous energy was flowing inside. That's why he understood that the person in front of him is not a normal cultivator at all. That's why he can't be emotional. In fact, Zhao Wutao comes with peace and sits in front of Wang Ling and says, that can I also drink with you here? Hearing this, Wang Ling offers him wine here. After drinking a little, Zhao Wutao is happy and says that wow, this wine is amazing. Wang Ling, listening to him, says that if you like this wine, then you can drink the whole pot. I have no objection to this. Hearing this from Wang Ling, Zhao Wutao comes to the point and laughs and says that do you know that your cultivation level is only one level higher than me? I am really surprised to see that you got mixed up in the mortal world in such a good way. While talking to him, Wang Ling also understood that Zhao Wutao also wants to break through in the soul formation level. That is, he also has to understand about artistic conception. On the other hand, Zhao Wutao says to Wang Ling that today I heard some things from my disciple's mouth. Only after hearing some things from him, I came to know that there is an immortal in Kyoto City other than me who is doing heaven's understanding to break through in the god level. That's why I came here, so that I can play a small competition with you. Why don't we both compete? That who will break through in the first soul formation level and become a god? As said, Master Wutao started putting his energy pressure on Wang Ling here. Wang Ling answers by listening to him and says that yes, why not? If we both take it like a competition, then maybe we can break through our level quickly because of it. That's why I am ready for it. And remember that I have never lost. Hearing this, Master Wutai laughs and says that who thought that I would get a new friend in Kyoto City? By the way, can I know what name should I call my friend? Hearing this, Wangling answers and says that you can call me Wangling. Hearing this, Zhao Wutai says that okay Wangling, then we bet that who will break through in the first god level in the next 100 years. Here it is said that Wutai also increased his pressure a little. Wangling was listening to all his talks. Along with that, he also tries to understand the emotions of Wutai, where Wangling answers him and says that maybe you did a little hurry. Yes, it is true that you may break through your level in 100 years, but for that, it is also necessary for your Yefei to stay alive. I don't think he will be able to survive for 100 years. Hearing this, Master Zhao Wutai got very angry. Brother Wu was also surprised, and thinking in his mind that, what is this Wangling doing? He also knows how much Zhao Wutai loves his disciple Yefei, but then, why does he need to talk like this? But on the other hand, Master Zhao Wutai was thinking in his mind that Wangling turned out to be quite capable. Only in one look, he recognized that how I am trying to learn artistic conception in the teacher-father relationship. Friends, if you have noticed, then Master Zhao Wutai is Yefei's teacher. Along with that, he is behaving very well with him, as if he is his father. This is a relationship of teacher, father, and disciple, which Master Zhao Wutai is trying to understand in depth, and maybe this will be their artistic conception. If they master this perfectly, then they will be able to break through their level. But in the end, Master Zhao Wutai will have to sacrifice his most beloved thing, that is, Yefei, undoubtedly. Master Zhao Wutai will have a lot of love for Yefei, but by sacrificing his love in this way, he will get the domain of ruthless. Master Zhao Wutai understood, by looking into Wangling's eyes, that Wangling knows all his secrets. Along with that, he understood his plan in just one look. Knowing all this, Master Zhao Wutai stands up again and praises Wangling and says that you turned out to be very smart. Now it will be more fun to compete with you. Along with that, he says to Brother Ju that go, I forgave your crown prince, but you only have 3 days. Return that tripod, furnace, treasure, and then we will forget this matter here. Brother Ju did not believe what Master Zhao said here. On the other hand, Master Zhao Wutai immediately departed from there. Yefei also runs after Master Wutao and says that Master, wait for me too. While walking on the road, Yefei was remembering the words of Wangling, how Wangling told Master Wutao that yes, no doubt you will do the level breakthrough, but your disciple will be killed for it. Here, thinking all this, Yefei was getting a little worried. Then suddenly he collides with Master Zutao, because of which Master Zutao got a little angry, but he calms himself down and says to Yefei, turning with a lot of love, Yefei, don't pay too much attention to that man's words. Will you eat candy? I can give you another monkey candy. But Yefei refused to take the next candy because he was still sad. And Master Wutao, thinking about Wangling on the other side, says that you are my strongest rival so far. After this, the scene shifts, and Wangling and Brother Zutao come behind here, where Wangling was drinking wine with pleasure, and Brother Zutao was surprised to see Wangling here, and thought in his mind that who is this man? Master Zhao Wutao was a little dangerous, which the Crown Prince is not even afraid of a big cultivator, but after talking to Wangling for a few minutes, he agreed to solve this problem on his own. What did they do with Wangling? On the other hand, we see that Wangling was also thinking about artistic conception here. He remembers the artistic conception of the leader of Bayon Set, Miss Qi, and Mr. Green, but he was not able to understand what his own artistic conception would be. After this, we see that time passed like this. 5 years had passed, and we see that Wangling had come to Danny's house, because his friend, that is, Danny's father, is now dead. Danny, his old mother, and the rest of his family were crying very badly here. Even Wangling was a little emotional after losing his friend. He gives consolation to Danny and his mother here. Along with that, he had brought a red lily flower for his friend for the last time to say goodbye. Wangling remembers that Danny's father had done a lot of favors to him. How did he count me like his family? He was a very good person, so we see that Wangling used his powers here and solidified his soul, where he tells him that go, you can take another birth now, whichever family you choose. It will be your choice. Hearing this, Danny's father's soul left here to say goodbye to Wangling. After this, we see that Wangling gets a little sad. His feelings were overpowering him. Until today, Wangling's life with his mortal. This feeling is the reason for teleporting his soul quickly and bringing it to Heavenly Way. Heavenly Way is a very long way to reach the origin of heaven. Wangling himself was not able to understand how he came here. But then, suddenly we see a very powerful god there, whose name was Chen Yunxing. He wants to give him another chance by seeing Wangling's soul wandering here, because he was able to feel that Wangling is just at an ordinary Nencian soul level cultivator. But despite this, his feelings and emotions are amazing. If he keeps wandering on this path, it will take centuries to find the origin of heaven. But by then, his body will rot completely, and he will be killed. So Master Chen Yunxing gives him another chance, where he was telling Wangling to go back to Earth. And if you can somehow break through from there and come out alive, then remember, my name is Chen Yunxing. You can come to me. I will make you my disciple. Here we see that Wangling's soul came back to his body. When Wangling comes to his senses, he says that it was good that I met Tian Yunxing. If he wasn't there, maybe I would have been lost on Heavenly Way. After this, we see that Wangling started carving the statue of Mr. Green in front of him again, and as we remember that, it was Mr. Green's artistic conception time, so Wangling was also thinking about him here. And slowly, Wangling began to understand his artistic conception, because of which Wangling successfully completes the statue of Mr. Green here. This was the first time that there were no cracks in the statues. That's why a lot of powerful energy is unleashed from inside the statue. Along with that, we see that Wangling's level has also been broken through here. He has now reached the very peak of the Nancian soul level. We see that Wangling understood the artistic conception of Mr. Bayan, the artistic conception of Miss Qi, as well as the artistic conception of Mr. Green, but these three artistic conceptions or domains were not liking Wangling. In fact, he was saying in his mind that I will have to make my own artistic conception more powerful than this. And here saying this, Wangling comes out of the house. Friends, I want to tell you a point in advance. If you know, then Wangling is living with normal people, and because of being immortal, his age does not increase like normal people. But he shows himself old in this way so that normal people do not doubt him. After coming out of the house, Wangling looks at the sky and says that no matter what happens, I will be God, because I am Wangling, and Wangling never gives up. After Wangling said this here, time went by very fast again, where we see that Danny had taken care of his father's ironwork, and he has already become a little rich, but this time, we see that Danny's son talks exactly the same. He was telling his father that I do not want to do this ironwork like you. In fact, I will do wood carving like Grandpa Wangling, where Danny holds him by the ear and says that you cannot run a hammer properly, and you will be able to do that expensive work like Uncle Wangling, which is very difficult. It is an art that not everyone can do. On the other hand, Wangling remembers the past by seeing all this, where Danny's father did exactly the same with him. Wangling was liking the life he had spent with these people. Then suddenly, Danny says to Wangling that, Uncle Wangling, what are you looking at? Forget it. I am not going to bring wine to your house. You have become a little old. Wine is not a good thing for you. Hearing this, Wangling also smiles and shakes his head. After this, we see that he started wood carving again, and as soon as he saw it, 5 years passed again, where Wangling has become a little older than before, and Danny's child had become a little young, whose name is Daniel, and he used to run away with some candies from Grandpa Wangling. Wangling has also been feeding him these candies since childhood, and if I tell you, these are not candies but some pills, which was slowly strengthening Daniel's spiritual roots. That is, Daniel can also become an immortal in the future. The time was not too far because we see that a sect felt his talent, and they send their cultivator to Danny, where they found out that Daniel's spiritual roots are amazing, so they got ready to make him a disciple of their sect. Danny was also very happy to know that his son will become an immortal, and the life of immortals is amazing, who never lack respect, power, and money. That's why we see that the cultivator takes Daniel with him. Danny and his mom also get emotional and say goodbye to him, and tell him to practice well. Seeing this scene, Wangling remembered his parents. Wangling was happy that he was able to make Daniel capable of this. After this, we are shown a scene a few months later, where it was snowing. Everyone was very happy to see this snow. Wangling was also going to come out and enjoy the snow. Then suddenly, he feels that this snow is not normal. Rather, it had a murderous intent. In addition, a cultivator also attacked the watchtower of Kyoto City. Seeing this cold energy, Wangling understands that there is going to be a big problem here. So we see that he immediately went inside the house and came back to his original form. After doing this, quickly Wangling comes to the sky so that he can find out what is happening here. But he was not able to scan the surrounding area because someone had put a restriction there so that he can fully cover his plan. On the other hand, no restriction has been able to stand in front of Wangling. We see that he started removing the restriction by using his yin-yang energy. After fully understanding this restriction, we see that Wangling destroys it. After removing this restriction, we see that the formation finally came in front of Wangling, which was the reason for this murderous intense snow. This snow was not good for living things because it is slowly weakening them and killing them. So Wangling has to do something to destroy this formation so that he can save the people here. And with this, our episode ends here.